can show you how to give affection. Let go and just relax. Do some things to you you never had done.
What's good, y'all? It's B and I'm back, and I got another vocal mixing tutorial today. The last one I didn't really go too in depth because I was really just trying to, make a beat real quick and make a song for y'all. But this one I got a full song, not me, but shout out my boy Squeeze Mode for this unreleased music. Gonna be dropping shit soon, so stay tuned. And once again, I'll leave all his links to social media in my description, so make sure y'all go check them out for me. Got some fire shit coming. But anyway, so we have this song and we have this chorus right here. I'll play it for you.
I had a drink or two, I'm in my feelings now. Why can't you pick up the phone? I am all alone right now. Is it over now? Give me an answer, please. Cause I'm kinda drunk right now, drowning in my sympathy.
Okay, so first things first, on the chorus, take all this off. Listening to it, the notes were good. I was like, you don't really need too much auto-tune, like you're there. But listening to it with the beat, you can kind of hear it's kind of flat a little bit, and it's not really standing out the mix. It's kind of just under everything. So, I mean, right off the bat, the first way, and honestly, like, the main thing that's gonna affect if your mix sounds good is all about the EQ. So what I did first is, I mean, any vocal that you do, unless you're dealing with like someone that's been smoking cigarettes since they were like 5, you're gonna most of the time you're gonna want to take a lot of the low end out of the bass, so that way it doesn't really clash with the bass in your beat and in your song. So if you listen to it, it's very subtle, but you will hear a difference if I play it a lot.
I had a drink or two, I'm in my feelings now. Why can't you pick up the phone? I am all alone right now. Is it over now? Give me an answer, please. Cause I'm kinda drunk.
So I mean, really, you're just gonna have to, I like to do this and just kind of sweep around and hear what's really fucking up the mix. But I mean, just the more times you do it, the more you're gonna realize most of the vocals are generally the same, and they operate the same way, and usually mix them pretty similarly. So I put on a chorus, and I just wanted the vocal to have some more like body, and it to sound more or smoother and not as rough. So with it on all the way, it sounds like this.
I had a drink or two.
And it almost kind of makes it sound like robotic-y, and gives it sort of like a delay. But that was obviously too much, and that's an extreme example. So what I do is I'll put it on full, like all the way, and then I'll just kind of tone it down depending on how I feel it should be.
I had a drink or two, I'm in my feelings now. Why can't you pick up the phone?
Next thing is a sound goodizer, and I'm telling you, I don't know what kind of crack the Fruity Loops developers are smoking, but I mean, this shit is a lifesaver. So without it, with it, there's a couple different options, but I guess it really depends on your microphone and what feel you're trying to go for.
I had a drink or two, I'm in my feelings now. Why can't you pick up the phone? I am all alone right now. Is it over now? Give me an answer, please. Cause I'm kinda drunk right now, drowning in my sympathy.
So for this one, I picked A because I just love the way it sounds, and I've always fucked with it. Most of the other ones, for me at least, just make my vocals kind of peak and distort a little bit. and that's not really what I'm trying to go for. So Convolver, it's just, I mean, you can use any reverb that you really want. I just chose Convolver because it's better than Fruity Reverb in my opinion, and it's the only other reverb plugin that I have. So I don't even know what setting I have it on. I could probably check. Oh. There's, I mean, a ton of different settings that you can choose from. I don't even think it fucking tells you, but yeah, just honestly pick one and play around with it and just find one that you like. And don't do what I did and actually remember which one you chose, because I have no clue. So adding reverb is just gonna add more body to your vocal and give it more room and kind of let it cut through the mix more. I had a drink or two. I'm in my feelings now. So again, I just suggested it to how I think it would fit in the song. De-esser. I had a drink or two. I'm in my feelings now. Making it go to the right more. It's just gonna cut off more high end. So find a good medium. Depending on your vocal, you're gonna need to, you know, turn it more and more and more. But this one was pretty good about not peaking, and a lot of the times the take that the artist does really does matter, and it's more than just editing. So make sure that whoever you're editing for is recording the best way that they can with what they have. Now the limiter and the compressor are really just to keep the vocal from peaking, and on some parts when he's singing, it's obviously going to get louder. Like the vocal isn't just the same volume throughout the whole way. So what this does, I had a drink or two. I'm in my feelings now. So what this does is it gives it kind of a limit, or like a level, and it tells it so you can't go past this level. So in order to do that, what I do, let me reset this. What I do is I usually put this threshold right at where the vocal starts peaking, and kind of where it starts getting really uneven. I try to get like a general line. So like right here, you could see I would go probably right here, just to keep everything from peaking, keep it all kind of the same, or as close to the same as it can be. So you're really just gonna have to listen and just figure out where it's at. Why can't you pick up the phone? This knee and ratio, you're just gonna want to make sure it's all the way up, because you don't want nothing going through. I had a drink or two. Now the compressor is pretty much the same thing. It's just not as visual. I noticed that even though I put a limiter on, sometimes it still peaks depending on how loud the vocals are. So sometimes I throw a compressor on there, and I mean, honestly, for most rap vocals and even singing or singers, you're gonna want to put the ratio on like 20-1. It's just gonna make your whole mix sound better, completely better. The delay, I mean, this is really up to you. These are like things you can put on if you want them. For me personally, I put more delay, or I'll get to that right now, but I didn't put as much delay as I usually would, because I did want to leave room for other pieces of the song, and I'll show you right now. I had a drink or two. You can still hear it, but it's very subtle. This is with it on all the way. I had a drink or two. I'm in my feelings now. Why can't you pick up the phone? So that's the hook. The ad-libs for this, we wanted to go more like distorted Party Next Door Travis Scott type of vibe. And so to get that, I do notice in a lot of his songs there's a lot of high end missing from the EQ. So I noticed in most of his songs there's a lot of more low, mid, and mid-range boosting, and there's a lot of bass and a little bit of treble taken out, because for some reason when you do that, it makes it like go under the mix but still cut through. And the reason for that is because you're basically making space on the main vocal, and you're filling that space with this right here. So you see where I cut and took out some of these frequencies right here? This is the main vocal, and in the ad-lib, in order for it to have its own space in the song, I decided to boost in the areas that I cut right here. And as for the beat, I did the same thing, but I did it when I was making the beat, because I've made so many songs with Squeeze himself that I already know kind of how the beat should be mixed. And when you listen to it with all the effects, let me turn it off. So when you listen to it,
My feelings now.
you barely hear it. You can barely hear it.
My feelings now.
So right off the bat, threw some EQs on it.
My feelings now.
So I did the same thing with the Convolver, the Chorus, Maximus, Limiter, Compressor. I just really turned it up and played around with it. The fruity delay, I normally don't use it, but I do like it I used it for this song because for some reason when you put ping pong and you pan this to the right and you pan this to the right, it'll make the delay bounce from left to right, and I like the way it sounds because panning stuff is just gonna give your song more and more room, and it's just gonna let everything sit separately. So it's really good because I can hear this clearly, and now I have a delay going from my left to right headphone, so I'll let you listen to it. Oh, also I threw some auto-tune and a distortion on it. Not too much of a distortion, and the thing is, since a lot of the high end's missing, it's not really going to distort that much anyways. It's mostly just going to distort in the mid-range, and it's not going to sound as bad, so you can take a listen.
My feelings now. Alone right now. Answer please.
So yeah, now with everything, since I told you I cut and boosted in some areas, you can tell that it's sitting very well, and it's although it's mixed together, it's standing out in its own way. So
I had a drink or two, I'm in my feelings now. Why can't you pick up the phone? I am all alone right now. Is it over now? Give me an answer please, 'cause I'm kinda drunk right now, drowning in my sympathy.
So I mean, the verse, I pretty much did the same thing, and honestly that's pretty much the whole tutorial. Make sure you guys watch this through and really take from what I'm trying to tell you or what I'm trying to teach you, because this is super valuable information, and it took me 4 years to figure this out. And although I'm only 17, I've been doing this since I was like 13. I mean, it's just really a long grind, and whatever y'all do, if y'all like it enough, y'all just need to keep going at it, because the world ain't gonna stop for you, you feel me? You gotta make your own way. If you guys want these presets, I do have these presets that I made. I have them all right here. I could make a pack for you guys. Just let me know in the comments, and I'll get these out to you, and all these sounds out, whatever you guys want. Just comment, like, subscribe, and keep sharing this video, and keep supporting me, and I'll be out with more videos soon. So peace.